Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Perfection Achieved. Today we are doing one of those recipes that, it's so classic, it's timeless, everyone's favorite, a bestseller in bake shops, but it's very hard to find a perfect recipe for this, for this cookie. We're doing a cookie today. And it's your favorite chocolate crinkle cookies. The kind of crinkles that I want has a crunchy exterior, a soft and chewy interior, and very intensely chocolate. Now, I've tried, so many recipes and I've tried so many crinkles from bake shops out there, but none of them satisfied my craving for that kind of a cookie. So I said, why don't I just create it? So here it is. Again, just like the chiffon cake, I've given this as a free recipe in several baking group pages on Facebook. And those who have made this extremely happy because of the kind of end product that they got. So, to make the perfect chocolate crinkle cookies, all you need are 8 ingredients. And here they are. And to make them, super simple. Okay, let's begin. So in my mixer bowl, if you don't have a mixer, do not fret. All you need is a mixing bowl and a wooden spoon or a sturdy spatula and you can make this recipe. But I still prefer my mixer because I get nice consistent results every time I make it. So here we go. You combine unsweetened alkalized cocoa powder. Now, please use alkalized or Dutch processed cocoa powder. Those non-alkalized or what you call the natural cocoa powder won't be as good. They're not as intense as the alkalized or Dutch processed ones, okay? But if you can't find Dutch processed, then go on ahead, use whatever cocoa powder you have, but again, it won't be as good. And then you have castor sugar. If you don't have castor sugar, then you can use regular granulated sugar. But of course, the texture will be just a tiny bit different. And then I have here vegetable oil. So I combine these 3 ingredients in my mixer bowl. All right. And then I'm going to beat it with my paddle attachment for 1 minute on low speed or speed 2. Okay, so when your timer rings, it's time to add the whole eggs. So we're going to do this while the mixer is running on low speed. We're going to add the eggs one at a time. Okay, allow your first addition of eggs to be well incorporated before you add the next addition. So give it a good 10 or 15 seconds before adding the next one. Now keep your mixer on low speed because you don't want this cookie to be light and fluffy. You want it to be nice, dense, and chewy. So keep it on low, otherwise you'll be incorporating air and you will be ruining the texture of your cookie. Okay, that's the last addition. Then add your pure vanilla extract. Now, continue mixing this until incorporated and the mixture is smooth. Now, once the eggs are incorporated and you've added the vanilla, next, let's shut this off first. In my bowl here, I'm going to combine my sifted flour. So we're using all-purpose flour here. Use a good brand of all-purpose flour, one that has 11.7 to 12% protein. You've got a little bit of baking powder and fine sea salt. If you can't find fine sea salt, you can use table salt, okay? Now I'm going to whisk this just until blended. All right? And then I'm going to add it to the mixture in my mixer bowl. This goes back in your mixer. And then we're going to beat this again on low speed just until the dry ingredients are moistened and the whole thing comes together into a nice cookie dough. Don't overmix. Once you see that the dry ingredients are incorporated, remove it from your mixer. You're going to end up with a very, very thick cookie dough. The next step would be to transfer your cookie dough into a bowl, and then we're going to let it rest at room temperature for about 4 hours. Okay, you can also prepare this cookie dough up to 2 days in advance. Just, put it in your bowl. We're going to cover it with cling wrap, and then you keep it in your fridge for up to 2 days. Okay, and then after that, you can scoop it and bake it. Notice how really heavy, dense, and sticky this dough is. Okay, so you have your cookie dough in your bowl. Take some cling wrap. You're going to need 2 sheets of cling wrap. The first sheet should touch the surface of the cookie dough. Now this will prevent a skin from forming on your cookie dough. Okay, if you don't do this, then you're going to have a problem later on, because when the skin forms, it's going to be very difficult to get that off. Okay, so it's touching my cookie dough. And then the second sheet of cling wrap just covers the bowl. And this prevents any, insects or foreign objects from getting into your cookie dough. Now, as I said, you can just let this rest at room temperature, about 20 degrees Celsius, for 4 hours at least, until the dough firms up. You need it to be nice and firm before you scoop it out so that it retains its shape. Okay, there you go. So I'll set this aside, and when we come back, we will have our cookie dough which has been rested. And we're back. So here's our cookie dough which has been resting for 4 hours at room temperature. So as you can see, it's nice and really firm. It's not as sticky as it was before we covered with cling wrap. So next, preheat your oven now to 180 degrees Celsius. Okay, now for this recipe, you can use an oven with a fan or a convection oven. That would be fine, no problem at all. You'll end up with a crispier outside and a chewier inside. But as I always tell my students, I prefer my deck oven for my, a deck oven or a conventional oven is a more all-purpose type of an oven, and it has a nice even result when you bake. So here's my sheet pan. You need 2 sheet pans, half-size sheet pans, and line it with parchment paper or non-stick baking paper. And you will also need a number 30 scoop. Okay, so number 30 scoop. Of course, if you want a bigger cookie, feel free to use a bigger scoop, or if you want a smaller one, then you can use a smaller one. I like a size 30 scoop. It makes a 30-gram cookie. And for me, that's the perfect size. Now, the number of the scoop does not correlate to the grams. Okay? So, it just so happens that a number 30 scoop makes a 30-gram cookie. Now, the numbering of the scoop has to do with how many scoops of ice cream you can get from 1 quart. So, a number 30 scoop simply means that you can get 30 scoops of ice cream from a quart of ice cream. That's how it is. Okay? So, the bigger the scoop, the smaller the numbering. Okay, so the recipe says we're going to scoop our dough. So number 30 scoop, portion out the dough and roll into spheres. So we want a nice flat scoop this way. Take it here, roll it between the palms of your hand into a sphere or a ball. Okay? And then, we're going to coat those spheres in confectioner's sugar, and then we're going to place them in our prepared sheet pan. So here I have some confectioner sugar, and you're going to roll it this way. Now, it's okay for your confectioner sugar to coat your cookie heavily, because the heavier the coating is, the nicer your cookies will turn out. So you put it here on your prepared sheet pan, and don't overfill your sheet pans, no? So only put 12 cookies on one sheet pan. Now this recipe makes 24 cookies. So that's a good number, okay? So we're going to do this. We're going to continue scooping and coating and spacing out the cookies here, and then we're going to bake them. So roll, coat, and place on your sheet pan, okay? All right, so we have finished scooping and coating and arranging our cookies on our sheet pans. Next step, we bake these at 180 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes, all right? So, Ray, please take these to the ovens. And when we come back, I'll show you how they will look, and then we're going to enjoy them, okay? In the meantime, here's our teaser trailer for one of my online classes at the Bailiwick Academy. Grabe, sarap. So chocolatey. Presenting double chocolate brookies. Soft, chewy, chocolatey cookies baked with tons of semi-sweet chocolate chips and crunchy walnuts. The perfect pairing with an ice-cold glass of milk. Only here at the Bailiwick Academy. Okay, so we are back. I hope you enjoyed the teaser for my online class. Now, we have here our baked and finished chocolate crinkle cookies. Perfection achieved. If you take a look at it, we've got some nice crackly top. The cookies, you'll know when the cookies are done because the edges are crisp, but the center should still be soft when you remove them from the oven. That way, when they cool down, they won't be too tough, okay? If you wait until the cookies are firm in the center, when you remove them from the oven, you will end up with super tough cookies. So do not over bake your crinkles, okay? So I am going to taste my crinkles. Wow. Nice and chewy centers, crisp exteriors. That's a perfect chocolate crinkle cookies. Now, these cookies will last 5 days room temperature or up to 2 weeks in the fridge. Perfect for making baon in school, taking with you to the gym, when you're out jogging. This is so perfect. I love it. So, the recipe is in the description box below. Please don't forget. And also, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Perfection Achieved. More fantastic recipes to come in our future episodes. I am Chef Joey Prats, bidding you farewell for now. God bless you all and stay safe.